Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and yesterday we had the first monsoon rain day. It rained several times, thunderstorms, lightning, and heavy rain. And so this is yesterday when I took off in between storms and wanted to get a video of how things looked. Plus, last spring we had some problems with our roof, so we completely redid it with a coating that you roll on with paint roller, and it's acrylic. And so we've had nothing but problems with that roof from the day that my son put it together, and I won't go into the details, but it's been kind of a headache. So anyway, as I come around here, you can see it's a nice roof because it reflects the heat of the sun here in Arizona, and it just keeps things really cool. And it worked fine. There were a couple of leaks that we weren't expecting, but that's easy to patch. And then also the porch here had some issues, and so we'll probably be working on that, or my son will anyway. I can't get on the roof anymore. I can't keep my balance that well because of the blood pressure medicine I'm taking. So anyway, I have to watch from the ground or fly my drone. So anyway, that was our first one. The last storm we had was I think the 29th of March. This is 2022. And in March, and then we haven't had any precipitation at all until yesterday, which was the 18th day of June. So we had a long dry stretch, and of course when it rains like that, well, then we have these big puddles that this is our street that we live on, and then there's the canal road next to it. And so when it rains like this, well, then the young kids get out on their four-wheelers, and of course they like to throw mud around, which in return causes these roads to have big, deep ruts in them. And then, of course, the next thing that happens is I crash my e-bike. So I'll have to be real careful in doing some riding. Now, this is this morning after they've had time to run their four-wheelers, and you can see on the right-hand side there how they pretty much made some new ruts with sharp edges and stuff, so that my tires don't like that. And then there's a few in our main street here. So anyway, that's about the only negative thing I can say about the monsoon rains. They make great big puddles, and then the young people have fun splashing in them. So anyway, and then I also wanted to go take a look at if last March also, with all the heavy rains we had for a while, the construction site across the circle irrigation from us got in trouble because they didn't have any way of flood control, and the water ran off of their project and into the houses that you can see, or into the yards that you can see at the top of the screen. So I thought I'll come down and take a look at what they're doing. And I thought also I will try to tell a story while we're flying around, plus point a few things out. And if you're not familiar with my channel, I've been telling stories of things that happened through my life. I'm 80 years old, and so in the last video I was telling how I got married. And so we'll continue on with married life. And you can see that they've got puddles, they've got ponds at the lower end of each road, and then the ponds fill up with water. The one we're looking at right now, they didn't cut a groove over to the pond or anything, so the road's flooded, but they'll get that fixed. And then the people on the right, they were really unhappy last March because their yards were filled with water that ran off of this property. So anyway, married life. What was it like? Well, my wife had she had a Corvair, the old Chevy Corvair, which was Chevrolet's competition with the Volkswagen air-cooled engine. And so we did, when we traveled, well, we traveled in that, and it ran great. We had that for quite a while. And then I needed a vehicle for me, when she was at work, I needed a vehicle to get around. And so I found in the Giant Nickel or the newspaper or something like that, a guy had a 1941 Ford for sale for $85. And that's where I got my 41 Ford, which I never should have gotten rid of. But anyway, the left rear fender was it had vibrated and cracked, and as you go down the road, it would vibrate back and forth. Now, back in those days, the metal that they made cars out of was much thicker, and so nowadays they make it so the car wrinkles up instead of throwing you through the windshield. So anyway, I got my 41 Ford, and that's what I would drive around in. Now you're looking at the entrance to the construction site, and that's where they come in off of that road on the right to do the contractors and stuff. And it looks like somebody came in yesterday and made a U-turn and left again because it was so muddy. So anyway, so then I had my 41 Ford, and then of course I didn't have to work, so I had a little more spare time. And I thought, well, I'm going to get me a puppy dog. So I went down to the pond. I think I've told this story. I went down to the pond, the dog pound, and I asked what they had, and the guy took me into the back room, and they had this fairly large cardboard box that had about 6 black labs in it. And they were all just kind of laying around except for one. I've told this story before, so anyway, if you've heard it before, I'm sorry. And they were just kind of laying around, but there was one that was climbing the corner trying to get out. I figured that's the smart one. So I bought it. I think it cost me $3. I bought it, and back then, what was it called? Gilligan's Island had a comedian-type guy named Maynard. But Maynard sounded like a good name for a dog because if you have the sound of A in a dog, he hears that better than if you name him something like Ruff Ruff or something. So I named him Maynard, and he became a very good friend. I've got more stories to tell about him. But so I had me a wife and a dog and a pickup. What more could you ask for? And I put the tailgate down, he'd jump in, and he'd stand crosswise on the tailgate right out near the end of it. And he did fall off once, and I'll have to tell you about that story maybe in another video as I'm coming in. This is this morning, and you can see me walking across the lot there. But I wanted to also show you the video from yesterday because I had a lot of fun landing my drone yesterday. So we'll take a look at that, and I want to thank you for watching my videos, and God bless.